Yes. And we are back. Full house this time. Where everybody will stay up here on the stage tonight. we Brother AI, we missed you last week. Sister Red, we missed you last week too.
I know, I was missing y'all. MIA.
But we are here. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the world famous Live from the Corner right here on Listen Vision. Check us out. For those who watch on Facebook, you can watch us on Facebook as you are right now, or you can check us out on listenvision.com. And again, we are here. Hope y'all having a good week.
We are out here.
We are out here. Hope y'all having a good week. Red, how you doing?
I'm fine.
You know what I'm saying?
How you doing?
I'm good. How's your week been?
It was good. You know, I'm an odd person. I'm very odd.
Yes, you are.
So this week, other than the hype was beyond high, I took my son to a Wizards game. I was sober by then, and
I would hope so.
And also, what was it? Saturday, I was in the mirror and I found gray hair. And I actually smiled. I was happy to find gray hair.
Now hold on, that's very random, and we need full disclosure. Where was it?
In my head.
Okay.
I said I was in the mirror. Well, okay.
Some people.
I don't need to know where it was somewhere else
in the real world want to know exactly, because there could be nose, it could be underarms, it could be butt hair.
I actually have two small grays in my goatee. So don't
but it's for me. That's cool because I see women with silver hair. It's beautiful. And so for me to see that I've always said I had one strand here since I was 15. I was stressed out when I was 15, y'all. But I found two more, and it was so cool, and it was silver, and it looked healthy. It was beautiful. So I've never dyed my hair, and I'm never going to dye. And when I go gray, y'all going to know it.
So I guess your ass getting old. That's what that means.
I guess I'm just sitting over here. I'm fucking
I never
Morgan
lied about my age either.
I'm over here being fucking Morgan Freeman, because if you look at my beard, it is pepper. You hear me?
That's all pepper.
God damn, I'm only 36. God.
You know how old you are?
36.
You don't know.
I barely
That's
know,
a
bro. I try not to
sign of being
celebrate
old.
birthdays that often because I just don't want a friendly reminder that.
Oh please, get over it.
Well,
aging is wonderful.
Yeah, until you get these nose hairs that men get, all that crazy out of place
Then
stuff.
I'll cut it.
But before we get started, I had to give you a gift. I brought something up here for you, and this is a tribute to you. And I couldn't find a golden one, but this is just in case you get that feeling, okay? I want you to keep that right there in your lap.
You got the barf bag?
Yes, we're gonna have to treat you like you are a passenger on a 740 goddamn 7.
Well, I appreciate
That's exactly what you are.
And AI, how you doing?
Oh man, hey, look, listen. I'm not high, but I'm high as hell off medication, okay? So shout out to the rheumatologists and all them assholes out there that's trying to kill me low key. You know.
Well, like I said, we definitely happy to have you back with us. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, bro.
It wasn't the same. We definitely made through. Shout out to Bobby for sitting up here.
Thanks, Bobby, for holding me up. Yes,
Please don't congratulate him, because a moment ago he actually said he didn't really miss me here, so he didn't think that I heard him, but he was talking towards the wall and it came back and reverberated. So Bobby ain't shit. Yep. And of course, back there, who we got, man? Who we got DJing for us, man? Who's the hottest DJ right now, man?
We dub the boy.
Man.
For those that want to get in contact with B-Dubs, he's here on Mondays for Miro Mondays. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
He's here for Titsy Tuesdays. Please do not become a victim of Titsy Tuesdays.
Please don't.
Oh, and speaking of being victims, shout out to Not Your Mama's Any Damn Thing and the ladies of Amsterdam. It is girl power up in here, y'all.
Yes,
and I'm telling you, they did not hold
And
back
it was
on
some
trying
power,
to get you to
I'm
confess every damn sin.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
right. Shout out to them.
That stuff is strong.
Good. Happy Women's History Month. And
Yes,
You know
indeed.
what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
If you want to do that. So, yeah, of course, back to B-Dub, you can also catch him here on Fridays for Fire Fridays. Again, do not become a victim on Fire Fridays. 12 to 10. All right. Let's go get into the show. So, for those that watch ESPN, you know, they've been having a shake-up the last, 6 months or so with a lot high turnover with their on-air personality and behind the scenes. So, Jamel Hill, who's one of my favorite anchors, who co-hosted, you know, the ESPN, the Sports Center at 6, with her, Michael Smith. Well, she decided to go on to Undefeated. You know, for those that don't know, Jamel Hill was the one that had more balls than a lot of people that worked there and called Trump, you know, and white supremacists and stood on her words when confronted. So shout out to Jamel Hill.
Yes, indeed.
But of course, ESPN kind of made it difficult for her, so she feel like, you know, I'm not going to be on sports anymore. I'm still do what I love, and so now she's undefeated. So for those that don't know what's happening in the latest saga of ESPN, so there was an ex-ESPN employee, Adrian Lawrence, who filed a discrimination suit against the company. And this suit, she spilled all the damn tea. I mean, she told it all. So apparently Chris Berman, who, if this is true, I no longer mess with the dude. I just love Chris Berman.
Right.
I mean, if you a man, you like sports, how can you not love Chris Berman?
He was a staple.
He was a staple.
Yeah.
You know, so supposedly Adrian Lawrence said that Chris Berman left some racially charged, threatening messages on her voicemail, which ESPN and Jamil in separate statements came out said that wasn't true. Jamil said that they did butt heads one time, but ESPN corrected that and moved on. So supposedly what happened was she, co-workers, not that many black women that work for ESPN anyways, you talk to each other. So she probably told Adrian, what happened. Adrian took some personal shit, but should stay between them two, and put it in her lawsuit. Right. Yeah. And then come out, it's a kind of an old boy network, it's kind of like a frat house. Some of the men have rating systems. Even so, I thought it was kind of interesting. So, and beyond their rating systems, supposedly some of the men wanted to know how Rihanna tastes.
Now,
shit, me too.
I definitely want to know. I definitely want to know how she tastes. Now, let me ask you this: would you like? Because she went through different phases. Is it skinny, unripened Rihanna or the thick, ripe Rihanna? I think that she's.
I like the thicker one.
Okay.
The one in the last 6 months. The one in the last 8 months, Rihanna.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because now I can't see her spine from the front.
You see
what I'm saying?
The crack addicted with the cocaine addicted one was pretty flat too, though, bro. I like that one.
But anyway, this Rihanna now, she has grown into her forehead now.
Yeah, she has. Yes, she has.
Read.
But listen, I am nobody to join because my forehead joins yours on the list of,
I mean, but you know what? I mean, everybody, beautiful people and the not so beautiful people all have some flaws. Snide Lathan, she has like a shorter, like one of her fingers is shorter than the other nine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can't have everything.
Look, trust me, her short fingers not deter me.
Not one bit. Not one bit. Now, let me ask you this: what would she use it, for you? Like, what would you want her to use it for?
Always.
You seem to be hell bent on this finger. I want to know, like, is there some special tool that some special place?
She can scratch my back.
Always from this corner.
She can scratch my back, but yeah, but you know what? But it's funny how ESPN is not exempt from the whole Me Too.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct. But they seem to be doing a good job now with Jamil Hill and hearing the cries of the young lady. I forgot her name again, Miss Lawrence.
Adrian Lawrence.
Adrian Lawrence. Hearing her cries or whatever. For some reason, I believe it, but I don't know if with Jamil keeping her job or whatever, or everything that came out, with the discrepancies and stuff, that they might have made her sign. Something saying that they cannot ever mention that. Because I'm pretty sure behind closed doors she probably complained about it before.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Right.
I thought about that, but going back to the white supremacist Trump tweets, you don't think she would have said something by now?
I mean, it depends on how the bag looked. You know what I'm saying? As she was stating in the statements that she made that I was reading, is that she's really highly upset behind it because she's actually sacrificing the money in order for the women that do work there, that they don't have that same problem.
So
the good old boy.
So it's not the money then. So
right.
You know what I'm saying? So for her to tell the truth, she's not really worried about the money because I'm pretty sure compare her to her counterparts.
Correct.
She's probably making at least 10%, 5% less. I'll say.
Right. Correct. Well, I in Hollywood and in the sports networks and stuff and who they own. I think there's Time Warner or something like that that owns them.
No, Disney.
It's Disney.
Yeah,
Who?
Disney.
Disney owns
It's Disney.
Yeah, Disney owns it, the ESPN and ABC. That's Disney owned.
Yeah.
So now we already know the history of Disney and how they can shut some stuff down. You dig what I'm saying? They can really shut a person down and really blackball them. I think it's to the point now where she had nowhere to run, and so her joining that movement of Miss Lawrence, I don't think that it's beneficial for her at this moment. With all the stuff that's
Lawrence or Jamil?
Jamil joining it.
Well, Jamil said I want nothing to do with this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I said, ESPN and Jamil both gave separate statements.
Correct.
Saying that's not true. So I don't know if Jamil is just waiting, for her chance to speak on it. Okay. Because it's kind of like, just because you got a problem with somebody, don't bring me into it.
So basically, she got a trick bag waiting, just in case the Good Old Boy Network needs to be spanked.
Man, look, Jamil, she ain't no dummy.
Correct.
Trust me. She done took notes. You know what I'm saying? She got receipts about shit too.
Right.
So something I find pretty interesting, probably funny. You would think if you got a problem with somebody, if they have some illness, where they're kind of on their deathbed, you might have a little compassion. You might have some compassion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when Pac got, was murdered, Big said, we was going through our little beef, but I ain't wishing no death upon him.
Right.
But Rick Ross, not Rick Ross, but 50 Cent, he didn't get that. 50 Cent, he didn't get that memo, man. So for those that don't know, Rick Ross was rushed to the hospital on March 1st, and what actually was on life support machine for a couple days. So after news broke, your boy 50 Cent tweeted with Instagram a picture, for those that watched Rocky V, a picture of Ivan Drago. Oh. And if you know anything about the movie, this particular scene says, if he dies, he dies.
Right.
So a lot of people were saying, well, 50's like, I don't give a fuck if he dies.
Well, listen, didn't he have to pay his baby mother like $7.5 million?
He was ordered to.
Now,
but he filed Chapter 11, 13.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So I think they already had ongoing bad blood. Now I gotta admire 50 because he keeps the same energy no matter what. If you got a problem with somebody, I guess that's just how it be. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I do admire him because he ain't breaking character for nothing.
Right.
He ain't coming out with the Boys to Men rendition of what's that song?
I'll make love to you. No. Oh, that wasn't it?
No.
That wasn't it? Oh, okay. I was
so hard to say goodbye to tomorrow, nigga.
Yesterday.
To yesterday. That's who.
That's my fault.
Okay, but I heard both of y'all.
I ain't even high yet. I promise you on that. So.
But I read something that said that Ross wasn't in the hospital. I read that.
Now that
is shit.
His baby mother came out and said that he wasn't in.
I heard he just got out yesterday.
No, I'm just saying that's what somebody.
That's
So for that, we have the Magic 8 Ball and
what's wrong?
Prospect Good on that one. So
can we get the audience member on the microphone? Can we get the audience member on the microphone?
Prospect Good on that one.
Yeah,
we have some people in the audience that have to say something. Bobby, Ricky Bobby.
Fat Terrell was on Twitter. He came and said he wasn't on life support. He was doing okay. That was March 2nd because he went to the hospital March 1st.
Well, TMZ know they don't get shit right the first time anyway. So TMZ was one
the media period. What you mean?
Yeah.
Right? Something else to talk about.
Right.
Well, that happens to a lot of stars. I mean, a lot of hearsay at first. His mother came out and said that, but I'm sticking to the gun because I like the 50 beef. So
I was gonna say, regardless if he was or wasn't, 50 still said if he dies, he dies.
Exactly.
He doesn't care.
But you know what? When you have a mortal enemy like that, man, you got to go for what you know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I live with somebody that hates Rick Ross more than 50 Cent. You hear what I'm saying? Oh yeah, William Robbins, as she likes to call
the correction officer.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I mean, I live with a little Hitler. So she's mean. So
don't be talking about her. Don't be talking about her.
Hey, look, listen, it's rough. It's rough. I am not trying to cross her. She cooks the meals. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you better. Yeah.
Don't want to poison your ass,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But this is just this is par for the course of 50 because like you said, he was ordered to pay Rick Ross' baby mom's $5-7 million.
Correct.
But do you know the reason why?
Now that I need the details on that.
So on 50's website, this is 50.com, he found a sex tape of what's her name, Tamika, or whatever her name is, with another dude, after Rick Ross.
Whoa.
And he posted it, and he's narrating. He's wearing the 70s pimp wig on and a fur coat, and he's narrating, talking about, "Need to get your bitch, man."
Now this is 50. From what I heard, this is 50. The show sucks, but this dude needs to do something else. Like he needs to do some prank. Matter of fact, this is 50. He does pranks, but it's falling off, bro.
You know what? I didn't see his show on BT, 50 Central. Is that
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about?
pretty sure it
Is
probably
that it?
disappeared by
Yeah.
now. I think they cut it loose, bro.
So for somebody to tell your baby mom now you know what 50 Cent done cross every line. Well, I don't know if that's a line when it comes to beef, but if there was lines still in the sex tape and narrating it, that's way past
Yeah,
the line
that-
that would be.
that-
So him, saying
had
$50
to
is
sit and
nothing. I mean,
watch.
that's pale
A couple
in
times to be a
comparison.
narrator.
But let me ask you this:
Okay.
this wasn't 50 Cent didn't hit that. So
No,
I
it was
mean,
another dude though. That
right? It was with another
another
dude, and they weren't even together. I'm pretty sure Rick Ross wasn't faded. You know what I'm saying?
So
I
she-
mean, the money.
So
proof.
she
Nah.
sued him for sharing.
Yeah.
and
You know what?
narrating? Okay.
He wasn't phased by what she was doing, but you don't want your enemy. He could have. What do dude say? Now, how's your bitch?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now it's online for everybody to see.
But this is ex. Who cares? You know what I'm
He
saying? I'm pretty
cares,
sure
apparently.
he was busy. You know what I'm saying? Eating seafood and relaxing. You know what I'm saying?
In
Whatever.
pairs.
Yeah, doing something.
Eating
you know
pears.
what I mean?
I tell you what. In signs that the world is going to hell, in the handbasket, there's a church in Pennsylvania that blessed its members and their AR-15s. They brought AR-15s in church, and we got a clip of them blessing the members and the AR-15s.
God's kingdom would have come on earth and in
The
heaven.
women came in white gowns. Most of the men wore crowns. As hundreds of people came together Wednesday at the Sanctuary Church for a couple's blessing ceremony, more than 50 of them also brought their AR-15s. The rifles symbolize the rod of iron in the biblical book of Revelation. Participants say the service was moving.
You can feel the love and the peacefulness of the ceremony. It's not a violent thing.
Outside the church, protesters couldn't believe guns were being...
I bet it was peaceful.
What in the Kim?
Oh, you want to see it?
What type of
What
drama
in the
gonna go down with all that
Kim
going?
Jong-un is going to hell on in here?
No, that's North Korean shit right there. Where
What
like
you mean? It's
you
right,
know,
it's right up north. What you mean?
I mean,
man?
but you know what? So,
Jesus loves me. This I know.
I
Jesus
feel
said
you.
bring
my
guns, though, right?
AR.
I feel
What you
on
mean?
that. I feel you on that.
But you know what? So imagine like if you go to a child's christening, right? Now imagine going to a child christening with somebody with an AR-15 next to you.
Okay, then let me ask you
Now,
this.
this
Right?
church is in Newfoundland, Pennsylvania, and we know what kind of territory that is up in PA. Okay. Now, as you noticed in that film right there, that there were white people there, and there were a hell of a lot of South Koreans to North Koreans up in that joint. Okay. Now, the actual person, the actual guy that started this movement, his name is let me get this correct. His name is Hyung Jin Moon, okay, and he is a South Korean, old timer from the South Korean.
So
Now,
why
his
did he-
father
why did he-
started. His
oh,
father
okay.
started it over in South Korea,
Of course.
So he is considered to be the heir. So this is not anything old, but they're putting a new spin on it because they worship something called the iron rod. So the iron rod is supposed to be symbolized
That is the iron
by
rod shit.
the actual AR-15s right there. Oh, pause. Excuse me. The iron rod. That goes along with "I'll make love to you." We put that right in this.
I
bag
mean,
right
so
here, along with her throw up.
if they're worshiping the iron rod, what's next? Worshiping the rabbit or something?
Okay, but why was it
But look,
started?
I got a question. I got
What's
a real
up?
question
What's
for
up?
y'all, right? When all that happened and when they killed the black parishioners, right? If our people would have carried our guns in the church, would it have been a big deal? Just
Oh,
because
bro.
that happened.
Hell yeah!
Beyond a big
Hell
deal.
yeah!
So
They
it's
would
not
have came
in
out
lines of
new gun laws on that Monday.
Now listen, we can always speak on the damn obvious. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
the news and everything out here. You know, the history of America. We already know what the hell would have happened. You know what I'm saying? But if you noticed in that whole crowd, I'd not seen one Negro.
You know what?
I think
Remember,
they saw them bullets and was like,
remember the Black Panthers when they exercised their right. They had a whole
Their
bunch of the NRA had new gun laws, right? So now I'm wondering. My man said you can feel the love and peace. Ain't no love and peace when you carrying AR-15s in the church, because
It's
that's what
peaceful.
shit. That's what shit is way beyond words.
It's
If you
peaceful.
got beat
It'll be
somebody,
peaceful.
if you got beat somebody, and you got AR-15,
What you
that's
say?
which is way beyond words,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So how you in church talking about I feel the love? I don't feel love.
now they
It
said
was
that-
peaceful.
Now, in all honesty, in the area in the, you know, the part of the United States that they are in, that is one hell of a selling point because we all know that church is business.
Is that Amish
That's
country?
one hell of a selling point.
Is that Amish country?
We're not sure. I'm not sure. I didn't go that deep into the research, but usually in those areas where they can go in church with a damn AR-15, it's probably some Amish land around there. You know what I'm saying? Or
I bet you
riding
that
around.
the collection plate full of bullets. I bet you.
I mean, hey, that's better than spending your money. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but like I said, we didn't show the whole thing, but the minister blessed the guns as well.
Right.
So
Bless them for what? What is he blessing them for?
To shoot niggas.
Straight aim.
We
What
have
you
no
mean?
clue. Now, the local school that was around there also had cleaned out the school because they had, as far as logistics is concerned, they had a big concern about people having that many weapons in the vicinity of the school. So instead of the actual laws and the actual the state actually going there, or the city shutting them down and telling them that they can't practice that,
They closed
they closed the school instead. And they closed the school down, but they moved them into another area in
So they
trailers,
can-
so that they can still have school that day.
But that
These guns is
That
more
speaks
important than children.
volumes. That speaks volumes on what the debacle when it comes to AR. I mean, with guns in America.
Guns and kids, like-
How in one instance where we see the terrorism that happens on your own land, but then you see that people are using it as a religious basis. You know what I'm saying?
and they have respect
and they're getting
for it
away
because
with it.
if they didn't
They're
have
getting
respect
away
for
with
it, they wouldn't have not have closed the school and relocated the children.
Right.
They're like, okay, we got
Well,
you.
you know,
But
so,
let you go up in the school and say for religious reasons, I
With
don't
a
want vaccinations.
taser.
I don't want vaccinations on my kid. Guess
Hold
what's
up.
gonna
You just
happen?
walked into a school and said religion. Turn around. Go home.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even
no,
even
right.
that. Even to that. That's something.
Like, they don't even pray in school no more. They don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance no more. Like, go ahead. Go home with that.
Right. But I will admit, deep down inside,
you like that
that
shit,
is
don't
a
you?
pretty groovy way. Man, I'm ex-military, bro. That is pretty groovy. I would join.
Just to have the gun.
Can you imagine?
You don't even
when
like
they
religion.
celebrate?
You don't even like religion.
Bro, can you imagine when they do the Passover and all that good stuff?
You know what? On that note,
Shots fired every week. Every
Right.
weekend is New Year's.
and on that note, we're gonna take a quick break. But while we go to break, we're gonna give a shout out again to Bay Baker, not your grandma's adult treats. I'll let your grandma's a stoner. And we also give a shout out to Ladies of Catch Them. We'll be back in a couple minutes. are back. So, have you ever seen white privilege go wrong?
Not really. I honestly have never seen that.
It doesn't really go wrong, but here's this person, Ryan Wolf, who goes to Wake Forest University. He was on Tucker Carlson's on Fox News, and during the 2016 primaries, he telling his classmates about his Republican views, and you will never guess how they responded. And we got a clip of him crying his white tears out
for his views. School officials, though, say they're not going to do anything about it, probably because they don't like his views. Ryan Wolf joins us tonight. Ryan, what happened?
Thanks for having me on, Tucker.
Thanks.
So back before the 2016 election, we had a panel talk that was hosted by the College Republicans, Wake the Vote, and the Wake Forest Review, which is the conservative publication on our campus. And kind of before, during, and after this event, there were messages about me on social media and in group chats, and that were kind of trying to intimidate me. And then after the event, I was handed a box of saltine crackers, and in a group chat during the event, a student photoshopped my face onto a cracker. And so our school has fairly strict verbal abuse, harassment.
And by the way, just to pause, I assume
rules.
that's a slur against your ethnicity, correct?
Yes, that's how it was intended.
Now,
my nigga's crying over on some saltine crackers, man.
now I have never. If you ask,
That's all you got. That's all
If
you
you ask
got.
any everyday white person, rich or poor, does cracker actually offend them? And they say hell no.
Right, and his ass, right, it like he was hung from a tree, lynched.
Right,
Somebody handed him some Ritz.
There is no history behind cracker. other
Right.
than
Someone hit him a box of Ritz. He's down crying on Fox and shit.
Maybe he
And
needed
then-
them with his soup.
And then somebody posted up his face in some Ritz. And he got mad about
Now
that
listen,
shit.
now listen. I'm not the one to be, talking about negative stereotypes, but we know damn well white people love hummus. Maybe he needed it with the hummus.
Oh my God.
I fucks with hummus, but man, maybe you needed them with the hummus, bro. Is that true? I mean, anybody?
You asking me?
Show of hands. How many been to business meetings and they always bring fucking hummus?
Nobody bring no hummus to business meetings.
Maybe we should pull a white person, I guess. I don't know.
I always have hummus there. It's always hummus and fruit.
I mean,
it's
but
always
you-
hummus and fruit.
You know what?
You damn straight.
Hummus is the bomb.
Now listen. Now
Matter of
listen.
fact, did you see Don't Mess with the Zohan?
Yes, that was.
When they used for everything, like used for hair gel and shit too. Like yeah,
That
like
was
so.
funny.
But I tell you what's funny about this, right? My man was handing a box of crackers. His face was forced onto a cracker. He went on fucking Fox to cry about this shit.
But the funny thing about it is that Fox is so desperate. Their plea to show that there's also reverse racism, that they actually entertain this dumbass story.
It's granted, it's not a salutation, but right. How bad is? Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, is anybody committing suicide with being called a cracker?
He looks like he's very good. He looks
look
like
like-
he's very well off. His herpes is nice and flared up on his lip. And
That was
yeah.
wrong. That
You didn't
was
see that?
wrong.
You didn't see that?
Hey, he look like a serial
Oh, okay.
killer to me, though.
Hey, bro, stop eating them out, man. How many people is he eating out a week? You didn't see that shit on his lip? Yeah, look at that. Look at it. Look at it.
Hey, look, Tucker look like, man, what the fuck you talking about? He got confused.
Tucker looking at his lip too.
He
Like,
looking
your
like,
shit on
what
your
the-
lip. Got some shit on his lip.
Dental dam.
I quote.
He look
Method
like-
Man.
Dental dam.
No, I saw that too. No, but he look like a serial killer for real, though.
Yeah, I mean,
know
but
what I'm saying?
he looks like he's off a lot of Xanax, man.
I bet he's part of the swim team.
Well, he could be part of the swim
He's
team.
part of the swim team. Oh, God.
There you go. There's my eye. There's my eye. His pupils are very big and dark.
Oh, God.
In all honesty, man. But you know what, though, man? That's just desperation.
Yeah,
man.
no,
Fox
but
has
I
nowhere
thought-
else to go.
But you know what, though? I mean, that just goes to show just how desperate America is, that there is even a platform for somebody to cry about being called a food particle.
It scares the shit out of me. It scares the shit out of me. And I don't know what's starting that movement,
We're
but
so
it's scaring the
overly
hell out of me.
sensitized.
Who is we?
Well, okay.
Who the hell is
The
we?
United States is so overly sensitized. Just like, I mean, so last week, I had to get help going down the steps.
Oh, Lord.
You had even lie to him.
She's rerunning.
And one of the guys, it was a lot of hands. I don't know who was touching me.
Oh, God.
one of the guys gave me a disclaimer basically saying that, sweetie, listen, I'm not trying to feel on you. I'm just putting my hand through your belt loop to help you go down the steps. And I cracked up laughing in my mind. It never came out. I cracked up laughing, and I'm like, wow. In order to help somebody, you have to give a disclaimer? I mean, everybody's so hypersensitive.
Well, you know what? I did see a story some years back. It was a lady that was drowning in water, and a guy saved her. And then she turned around and filed a sexual assault charge against him just for touching her. Right. Now, when you
and now
people
gonna die.
When you drowning, you're kicking everything.
Can I do CPR on you?
Well, if you're at a black pool party, first and foremost, you shouldn't be in the pool if you're black. Then on top of that, nobody's gonna save you because everybody's hair is done, and most of us can't swim. Can I get a bomb for that, bro?
No.
Can I get a bomb for that?
I can swim.
That is an actual, real damn stereotype.
I can swim.
God damn it.
All right. Well,
I can float. I won't drown.
First and foremost, we don't need you recanting anything of your bad day that day. Talking about you laughed in your mind.
I did.
She over here turning into fucking Yoda.
No more turning up on a Tuesday.
Was there a lot of clouds in your mind that you were laughing in?
No, I was laughing because that was ridiculous. He had to. I mean, it was funny to me.
You probably did look like Bill Cosby got a hold of you. You did look like that. You look like the Quaaludes had kicked the fuck in.
Yeah.
So from the crazy to the absurd. So President, number 45's. So 45's lawyer, Michael Cohen, the one that paid off $133,000 to Stormy Daniels, is mad that Trump ain't paying back. Like he's surprised by that shit.
Whatever happened to bros before hoes?
Well, he paid him off so she wouldn't tell, and she don't tell anyway.
So he paid him off. He paid her off for his homie, and he never paid him back.
He never paid him back.
Is that the one that says that she had Trump's?
I mean, no, it's not like he loaned him $10. Niggas $130,000 now.
Her vagina is $133,000. That is amazing.
Her mouth is. That's what.
What happens when you hit something like that?
You go broke.
You go broke. Oh my!
Clearly.
Is that the one that said she had his baby?
No, that's the one that said she had an affair with him.
Who would claim that?
Oh.
Who would claim anything
that is some
with Trump?
amazing
That
work
is
right
just
there.
disgusting.
Yo, you figure right. I'm not sure how much porn stars
Look at
made
Melina. She won't
per
even
film,
touch it.
but I doubt 6 figures per film, right? So let's just say you get $130,000 at one time. You gotta open your legs. You ain't gotta open your mouth. You gotta open your asshole.
She did open her mouth.
And in all honesty, there are no repercussions for this guy. I mean, nobody.
So I'm saying, so you get $130,000 at once to keep your clothes on.
Right.
You went. Not in that same setting, but I'll take those numbers.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
There's no way.
Hey Trump, I ain't know you that much. You was that much of a freak,
Mo.
Mo. I ain't know you was like that, Mo.
He even looked.
But of course, when the lawyer paid him, it's not confirmed as to why. Only she's saying, but we know why, because you don't just pay somebody $130,000 for anything.
Yeah, except for a good hooker. I would pay $134,000 for a great hooker.
Well, know what you can do to save that money? You can own stock in one of them sex robot toys. I mean,
you know what? I don't want the sex robot toys. I want a sex robot midget, a little person. That's what I want. Thank you, sir. See what I'm saying? I am not the hell alone in this world. They came in right on time, man. I swear to God. Look, you see the moment of silence they had for me up here, and I got a goddamn okay from out of the goddamn crowd.
You know what? So that actually brings me to another story. So in Asia, I want to say in China, there is somebody, I forgot what it is actually that she does, but she went on social media and basically said, I'm giving myself away for free. I'm going to be at this hotel. 3,000 men showed up.
Well, wow.
And she said, I'm giving it away for free.
Giving it away for free, and men showed up.
Oh,
I mean, can you imagine the dirtiness
No,
and the
this
filth?
was like a couple days ago.
This was a couple days ago?
Yeah, this was a couple days ago.
What, I mean, okay, so what was her
virgin?
spin on it?
Was
What was
she a
her spin
virgin?
on it? I'm trying to...
No, well, actually, so of course she got arrested for solicitation, but like, how can solicitation when she's giving it away?
Right, correct.
Was she a virgin?
It's free.
Or she was just
Where was Amber Rose when this was going down? Ain't she like the representative for all sluts? Isn't she like?
That
Did they
was a-
call the liaison and have her show up on a private jet to save her ass?
That was a 3-month summer run, sir.
21
Yeah,
Savage.
3-month tour, and we had a walk at the end.
Dude,
I'm serious, bro.
21 Savage got her
Amber
coochie
Rose,
locked.
you should have showed up for your counterparts, okay?
You know
that is not. We can't understand why you didn't show up there.
But yeah, so
That is slut shaming at that.
3,000 dudes showed up. She was arrested for solicitation.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Did she? Well,
Right, did she
see the
sleep
thing
with
that I want to
anybody?
know the backstory on it because I'm trying to figure out what came over her. Was it the actual baked goods over there at this Nacho Mama's? Was it
Baker's got it like
was
that.
It, what actual drug did she take to make herself that
No,
horny?
but you know what? There are websites.
It was the chicken
where
mixed with ecstasy.
There are websites where women have auctioned off their virginity.
That's what I'm saying. Was she a
Auction
virgin?
off her
Out their virginity.
You know, over
So
in
she wasn't a virgin. She just giving herself away.
That sounds like a suicide mission.
Right.
That sounds like a suicide mission.
Well, no, I said because she was arrested before anybody could.
And that's probably.
Oh.
But you know what? Good point. Good point to that because if she did happen to be weaponized, if her body was weaponized like that, she
That's
could have
attempted
started
murder.
the next outbreak or something over there in China. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they arrested her because there was no testing, there was no paperwork.
Right,
You know what I'm
just a
saying?
bunch
Stating that
of
she was safe enough to
sausage
deal with
lining
these
around
fellas.
the
You know?
corner.
Right, and or she could have started. You know, her vagina could have started the next epidemic. You know, so that right there alone.
Just because someone offer you a place to dip your dipstick does not mean you should put it there.
There's nothing like a warm home. I think it's too much. It's too much. What they eat? Tiger penis soup.
Yeah,
and,
that's the PSA from Radio Red.
Don't do. Just because it's free.
You know all that ginkgo biloba they be chucking, bro. That shit make you horny, I guess.
Hey, so
My father believed in it. My father believed
Yeah, my
in
uncle
it.
used to buy the Jones in the case.
He said you can nail your shit through a wall.
The green ginkgo.
That's what he said. My father lived by it. To this damn day, ginkgo biloba.
We can-
He can nail his shit through a wall at 68
did you see him do
and
it?
hang from it.
Oh man.
It was like a pinwheel.
Yeah, spin it
You know that
around.
windy day we had the other day? He could go out there and tell you the direction of the wind. That's my daddy.
My dude.
R.I.P.
For the rest of the show, every third word best should be paused.
There's no
Every
pause.
third word should be paused.
There is no pause. There is no pause. I'm
All right,
telling
so-
the true account.
So hey y'all, what's happening in South Africa, man?
Okay, so as everybody knows on my
So
page,
we went from penis to South Africa.
yeah, we went from penis to South Africa because down there people are getting fucked as we speak. Okay, but there happens to be
Right, good segue.
there happens to be something going on, and my timeline was flooded. I happened to have posted an actual article on the movement to actually take back the farmlands from the white owners. And a supposed radical named Julius Ilima. He's actually the man right there. He's actually at the forefront of actually starting this movement. Now, mind you, we know that in South Africa there was such thing as apartheid. We know that Nelson Mandela helped quell the people temporarily and help them, kind of blend in or get herded and become targets. Okay, and therefore the actual white farmers down there still owned hectares and hectares of land. And I don't know if you know what a hectare is, but that is vast. And that is coming from people that are not born there and that it's not even their birthright to actually own that land. So we're actually going to go to some footage of Julius Ilima, and he is talking to the journalist about his actual ploy and his actual direction that he's trying to go in with confiscating the land.
Zuma faction that was pushing this, if you believe that it's the right policy to adopt.
No, the Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma faction has got a lot of young people we served with in the Youth League who believe that the only way to counter the EFF and destabilize it and steal its electoral support is to agree to what the EFF stands for. They don't genuinely believe in it. They say it because they think they will destabilize the EFF and what it represents. But they don't know that the EFF leadership is constituted by very strategic people and thinkers who are always ahead of our times.
Is the ANC in Godongwana in particular, and the final resolution, incorrect to mention food security, that you mustn't impact food security, that a full study is needed, that there must be no impact on other sectors of the economy.
Absolutely, we agree with that. But as a political posture, you don't take a political posture and say unnecessary things. You take a posture, and then behind the doors, you do exactly that. You make sure that expropriation of land without compensation doesn't become disastrous for the economy, doesn't become disastrous for food security and all of that. But once you put too much decoration, the message gets lost and people don't know exactly what you mean. And that's what the market wants. They want clear policy, not some wishy-washy arrangements, whether we're expropriating or not expropriating.
So as you hear there, you know, I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on that before I go on my rant. But as you hear there, it sounds pretty. You know, it sounds very sane what he's saying. Okay, they're trying to paint this ugly picture of Malema, that he's an actual radical and that he's trying to actually kill the white people and are trying to herd them into an area. Now, everybody up here pretty much knows the history about colonization and how they confiscated the land. You know what I'm saying? Through raping, pillaging, and, you know, basically taking. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only reason why I'm bringing this up because I actually had a friend of mine who actually just so happens to be a white South African, and she went on her rant talking about how her great grandparents were there in 1652, and how they actually helped the black people there, and they gave them jobs and everything else. I can't understand how in the world you're giving jobs to people whose birthright it is to own their own land and cultivate it. What are you guys' idea on that? What do you feel about that? The actual confiscating of the land without paying them, without paying the white farmer.
That's without paying them, you say?
Yes, without compensation. I believe that it's fair.
That's what I was getting ready to say. It's like a. I can't.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, but they're trying to paint this evil picture that he's an actual evil person. Now, I also have a excerpt from Trevor Noah's book. He actually read it for the New York Times.
Who's also from South Africa.
Yeah, and it was it's called "Born a Crime." Okay, we're actually about to play that right now so that you get the gist of African's ideal and the things that he grew up with.
An expensive private Catholic school. Classes were taught by nuns, mass on Fridays, the whole bit. I started preschool there when I was 3 years old, primary school when I was 5. In my class, we had all kinds of kids, black kids, white kids, Indian kids, colored kids. Most of the white kids were pretty well off. Every child of color pretty much wasn't. But because of scholarships, we all sat at the same table. We wore the same maroon blazers, the same gray slacks and skirts. We all had the same books. We had the same teachers. There was no racial separation. Every clique was racially mixed. Kids still got teased and bullied, but it was over usual kid stuff, you know, being fat or being skinny, being tall or being short, being smart or being dumb. I don't remember anyone being teased about their race. I didn't learn to put limits on what I was supposed to like or not like. I had a wide berth to explore myself. I had crushes on white girls, I had crushes on black girls. Nobody asked me what I was Trevor. It was a wonderful experience to have, but the downside was that it sheltered me from reality. You see, Maryvale was an oasis that kept me from the truth, a comfortable place where I could avoid making a tough decision. But the real world doesn't go away. Racism exists. People are getting hurt, and just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening. And at some point, you have to choose, black or white. Pick a side. You can try to hide from it. You can say, oh, I don't pick sides, but at some point, life will force you to pick a side. At the end of grade 6, I left Maryvale to go to H.A. Jack Primary, a government school. I had to take an aptitude.
So, with that being said, what did you guys get from that?
Well, from what I heard. Oh, I'm sorry. From what I heard, like you said, he was very sheltered from reality. Okay, because here in America, we're all divided. We shouldn't be, but we're all divided, and like we go by races and cultures and diversities, and even within our own race, we're divided. So him coming from South Africa and being able to like white girls, like white South Africans, like black South Africans, and then for him to realize that he's black. You know, you have to pick a side. Why do you have to pick a side? Because you're black.
Right.
And here, you're black.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You're black.
Right.
You know. So.
And with him, the further that he goes into it, the point of the story is that what I got from it is that he said that one day you have to pick a side, okay? That one day you're gonna have to figure out if you're black or you're white. Now, me and you, Breezy, started this journey in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
We went and we actually protested on New Jersey Avenue for a young brother named Terrence Sterling, okay? They got gunned down right there. I walked out there at 4 o'clock and we didn't stop walking and we didn't start chanting until 12 to 1 o'clock a.m. With that being said, when me and Breezy walked up into the crowd of people, there were a group of Black Panther, the new Black Panther Party.
Black Israelites, though.
Exactly. There were the feminist groups. And then there was 2 feminists that had to pass out flyers.
You know what though? One thing too, real quick, not to cut you off. That I found interesting about that particular gathering. You know, that event touched a lot of people. Like I said, there were Black Israelites, Black Panthers, white lesbians. Matter of fact, the group where we were, the conductors, the ones passing out the signs were white lesbians. So it was just amazing to see. You got people across color lines, across such orientations come together for the same thing.
Now,
you know what I mean?
To that point right there, right? Where I was going with it was that within the huddle, there were a group of white folks that had to pass out flyers to understand what we were out there protesting for, to understand how we felt about the killing of that young brother in cold blood by the policeman. This is where the white tears over there in South Africa and my counterpart from high school who seemed to go on a rant about how much they helped the situation. Now, in life, we have had hundreds and hundreds of years in America, where we have seen that no matter what, it has never been straightened out through hundreds and hundreds of years of slavery and integration, okay? Now, apartheid is only 30 to 40 years old. That is fresh. That is actually something that was right around the corner when most of us were born when it happened, when Nelson Mandela was freed. I, on the record, had to put this out here because I didn't say anything on social media, but I gotta say this now. We can no longer tolerate that. And to the people of South Africa, thank you for showing the example of what sticking together is, how the vote counts. You dig what I'm saying? And how we can no longer tolerate the hatred. We can no longer tolerate you hurting people. You dig what I'm saying? The Portuguese and everybody else that took over those lands, you are not deserving of it. And how dare you try to shut people out of their birthright when the land that you are harvesting, the very vegetables and crops that you make millions of dollars off of are drenched in the blood of their ancestors. So for that, I go on record. Peace, man. And we got what, Martin Scarelli? Let's get it.
Follow that up with Martin Scarelli, aka Farmer Bro, aka the one that took the medication that's used for people that have HIV positive medication that was $13.99 and raised it to $750. He bought the only copy of Wu-Tang Clan's album Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. Well, what the? Well, not only does he have the only copy, but he's paid $7 million for it. And now with his pleading guilty to fraud and guilty to other things, he has to forfeit the $7.4 million only copy of the Wu-Tang Clan album.
Do you know why?
It's a special album.
You know why?
Why is that?
We're listening.
He went to jail for the fraud, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Play
gets
guilty to it.
He gets out on bail, right? Mm-hmm. So he wants to hop on Facebook and be cool and talk about, I'll pay somebody. Y'all remember this? I'll pay somebody to get a lock of Hillary Clinton's hair. That was him.
Yeah,
violated your probation. Oh, you don't got to pay us? Let us have that.
Why didn't he go on air and say, I will pay anybody for a taste of Rihanna's asshole? Isn't that what my man said?
I tell you what.
Chris Brown would have
Isn't
been
that
on
what my
there.
man wanted? Isn't what my man wanted over there at ESPN? He could have paid for anything.
I tell you what, we will discuss
know
it more
what? I
on
just
another show, but we got to get up
cannot
out of here.
with
Thank you for tuning
this
in.
Man over here.
We'll discuss that in depth
Put
on
this
another
in the
show.
bag. Put it in his bag.
Thank you for tuning in to another Live from the Corner. You can reach me on Twitter and Instagram at Breezy Taylor, Breazy. You can get at me on Facebook at Facebook.breezy.taylor.5. Red, where can they find you at?
Oh, Lordy. Tripping over here. Well, on Facebook.
You were last week too.
Well, sober this time. No, on Facebook, Louisa Harrell, and on Instagram at Lovely Beautiful Mind 30.
And you can find me at A.M. McDowell Ferguson on Facebook. You can find me at Red Nose 199 on Twitter and Red Nose 1999 on IG. And the Red Nose stands for the Pit Bull, not the goddamn clown. And we out here, y'all.
We out.
Peace.